How much of the global artistic heritage is located in Italy? Let's talk about it with Francesca Costantini. Francesca, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, I'm Francesca Costantini. Hi. And I come from Rome. I live in Rome. I study art. I'm a scholar of art. And I started when I was 16. I come from an important family of antiques dealer. And I really, really love art, and not only art. I'm also a good cook. Many people says that they can appreciate what I cook. I start to study history of tradition of Italian cuisine. Also, in the same time, I've studied art. That's why, because I think there is a connection between these two subjects. I usually do video conference on web about historical characters or applied arts or some artists. On Instagram, I created a page that deals with combining art topics with the history of food. Has been very, very successful.
This is actually something very similar to what you will be doing here in Italians with your vertical, of which we cannot anticipate the name yet, but we are going to launch very soon. So this combination between food and art, using food as an excuse to talk about art.
Yes, I'm a popularizer, so I think that two of the most important Italian excellence are art and food, as you say. And so we know that in art, all the things we learn it at school, but few knows anecdotes or funny stories. This is what I want to tell for Italians and people over the world. I want to learn and just tell you stories and anecdotes of artists and foods and all these things together.
Indeed, one exercise that is pretty interesting that I used to do, I've done a couple of times, was to try to put in parallel the subjects that normally you study at school in silos. For example, what happened that specific year when you talk about history, but in parallel, what happened when you talk about technology, and in parallel, what happened when you talk about theater. And you realize that mentally you are not used at putting these different subjects together, and it becomes a really interesting exercise. But before going there, let me ask you, why Italy has so much art all in itself? Like, I think the metropolitan legend says that 90% of the art in the world is in Italy. Why is that?
70%, 70%. Okay, because Italy is one of the most important crossroads of Mediterranean. So it means that lots of cultures have been mixed. This change, the culture has certainly given it a great boost of creativity here. Also because the presence of the popes and of nobles gave a great impetus to the art. And do you remember the Medici family in Florence? Well, they leave us one of the most important collection of artworks, and Firenze is considered the cradle of the Renaissance. So this it means that important noble families, popes, were really the way to bring art here in Italy and to pay for it, because they could pay artists lots of money for their works.
And this is what happened a lot of time ago. But when we come to today, what are the new trends of art? What's going on? What's new out there?
It's not easy for me to talk about new artistic trends. Artists change from figurative to conceptual. Sometimes it's difficult to interpret to me, but we must not close our mind to new perspectives. In fact, if you think that ancient art was also considered modern before. So now we are living the same time, and maybe the art of these days in future will be antique. By the way, there is a big part of people that still love antiques.
Museums are full of people, so probably there is
Yes,
still the preference of antiques as well as for modern stuff.
yes, that's right. And also young people, you can see young people at the museums, and there is a big request. So I think maybe we can think positives about it. We can think
Absolutely.
positive.
We should. And can art be a business?
Well, art is always a business, only for all the sector is active. If you think to museum, as we told before, art show, exhibition, and all these moves lot of, lots of people, many people work in this sector. Also in private, antique dealers, auctions, and also little countries where maybe on Sunday morning you can visit antique and vintage market. In past, especially between 16 and the 80s, owning antiques meant being wealthy, like in past century. So art can be an investment, but I think it's always from a personal point of view. So each sector has an excellence and a collector. So it depends of what you are looking for, and it's always your point of view. So maybe it could be an investment. Yes.
Just to close this interview, Francesca, can you give us a preview of what will be your first episode in your vertical?
Yes, just not spoiler, but a little few of something secrets. Yes, I give you three words: Caravaggio, artichokes, and Rome.
And I'm
Is
very
that
curious to see what it will be about because I cannot close the triangle. Fran-
okay?
Fran-
Okay, so you have to listen me.
I
Okay.
will, and all the people watching us. Francesca, let me thank you very much for your time
Thank
today,
you.
and let me wrap
Thank
up what
you.
we just said. Today, thanks to Francesca, we learned that number one, up to 70% of the global artistic heritage is located in Italy. Number two, art can become a source of business, as culture can do in general. Number three, Francesca is about to start a vertical channel within Italians to talk about the interaction between food and art. Its name is gonna be... I'm not gonna tell you. Alright, thanks for being with us today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down here and follow us on our YouTube channel. Please put any comment you may have and see you soon. Cheers and ciao!